Technology help us communicate faster.
Okay, based of course on the video, would you like to give the difference between before and after the the transformation or evolvement of technology on our communication?
Before, our communication needs a week or a month before it delivered to the person whom you want to write a letter. But now we can easily send them through Messenger
Or
and
any
they
other
can,
platforms?
yes po.
Okay, correct. Very good. So, or precisely. So that is actually the transformation, of course, or involvement of technology in when it comes, of course, to communication. Yes, Janice.
Technology can help us with our daily lives.
How? Prove it.
Like cars. Instead of riding a horse like dati, you can just drive your car.
Okay, exactly. Or you can use, of course, your car in order, or board a car, or to use a car in order for you to travel from one place to another. Correct. Because on the video, it was actually presented, the use, of course, of natural, natural something like a horse or whatsoever in order for you to travel. So it takes a long period of time. So who else? Okay, Moses. Dalawa lang ang nakakamera dito. Only Mr. Novallo and Janice. Yes. Rochelle, would you like to tell something? Are you raising your hand or not? Okay, what about you, Mr. Tupaz? Miss Tupaz?
Sir, thanks to thanks to technology, it's now easier to go to work or perform household chores. Example po sir, yung mga artificial intelligence, kaya po nilang gumawa ng mga task like vacuuming or sweeping in the house.
Saka naman too much. Okay, thank you for your, for your, what do you call this, the ideas. Yeah, it's of course all about the daily chores or activities at home, so you can easily actually manage those things. Yes, Moses, again, thank you.
I learned that technology is makes our work easier.
Okay, technology makes our lives easier and faster, and also, of course, our daily activities. Correct. What about you, MacLeon? What can you say about the video? Anything that you learned from it? Hello, MacLeon, are you there? I'm going to call you one by one. Yes, Mr. Novello, would you like to add something?
Technology improve our daily life, especially this time of pandemic. We use our technology in online class.
Okay, improves, huh? Improves or improved for past tense. Okay, thank you. Technology, of course, improved our daily life, most especially in this pandemic or in this time of pandemic or amidst pandemic. We can use, or we used, of course, our technology, like for example, this platform, the Google Classroom, in order, of course, for us to meet or to discuss something or to be educated as well. What about you, Elisha?
Technology helps our lives like making artificial legs.
Okay, makes of course or improved our lives, most especially to those unfortunate people. Unfortunate means unlucky or not so lucky to have of course a perfect body. What I mean, not a physique. What I mean is or the shape. It's not all about it. A perfect one, of course, an organ, something like sometimes those people who doesn't have legs or whatsoever. Thank you. What about, yes, you want to add something, Janice?
Using technology, some bioengineers design devices such as artificial legs, skin, and hearts that replace human body parts.
Okay, when it comes, of course, to our bioengineering, right? So, it improves or it enhances, of course, our body or our physical attributes. So sometimes, of course, you are not really that familiar or you are not that satisfied with your look. Sometimes, of course, you need, of course, to change or to enhance our body or a part of our body in order for you to look good. So, are you familiar with the plastic surgery? It is actually a forbidden fruit of biotechnology, also. And are you favor or not? Who wants to give their notion? Who raised hand? Are you familiar? Of course, I think we are familiar with, you know, with the so-called plastic surgery. Are you familiar with that? Only London.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is your idea about it? Because it is actually a part of technology. Yes. Who else? Aside from Eliza? Aside from Janice. What about you, Brent? Villadonga? What is your idea about plastic surgery? Are you favor or not? I will be back, Brent. Yes, Miss Gathering?
For me, sir, it's okay to have a plastic surgery because it boosts people's confidence.
Okay, it boosts actually people's confidence. Thank you. What about you, Shane? What is
Pla-
your idea?
Plastic surgery is a surgical specialty involving the restoration, reconstruction, or alteration of the human body.
Okay, alteration of the human body. Are you favor on that? That we need to alter or to change something in our body, in a part of our body. Are you familiar? Are you favor or not?
Not po, sir.
Not. Why? Why you are not favor? Okay. Let us move on to your classmate Eliza or Janice.
When people don't like the way they look, they get a surgery done. And for me, some of the people that got a surgery, plastic surgery, doesn't really like the way it looks now. But the other percentage like it, you think?
Okay, liked it. So there are actually you are talking actually, or you wanted, of course, to point out the advantage and disadvantage. Generally, of course, a lot of course of people who alter means that they changed actually their looks by undergoing, surgery. Specifically, of course, nose enhancement, eyelid enhancement, lip enhancement, or whatever enhancements is that, because they believed that the outcome is good, the outcome will be good, but of course later on they look good, and then the other dark side is it is not. So we cannot actually, do you think we need to blame them, those people who underwent
No, sir.
surgery? Why not?
Sir, because for me, they tried their best to, look different, even though ganun po nangyari sa kanila. So we shouldn't blame them.
Okay, just because actually this is their personal choice, right? So whatever it is, I think if I am the one, of course, who will undergo in a on that kind of enhancement, for me, I think I have to be ready on, on even it is for either it is positive or negative, because it is your personal choice. And before you have to go on the procedure, so you need, of course, to meet a psychologist, in order for you to be assessed, because you have to be ready emotionally and psychologically, on that series of procedure. So that is, of course, the reason why I think, based on my personal view, we don't have to blame them just because they really wanted, of course, to be, to be part of the society, because sometimes physical appearance matters. Actually, we need to accept that we need to look good, to other people, even it is not actually their fault. Yes, it is not actually their fault. They need, of course, to be accepted by the society, because hindi naman talaga natin talaga masasabi na there are a lot of criticisms in our society, right? So that's why, those people who underwent surgery, you have to respect them. Ako nga, if ever, after 2 years or a year, I really wanted, of course, to alter my nose. you know, because I am not that satisfied with my nose. That's it. So that is actually a personal choice. Okay, because we are actually in a modern society, sometimes physical attributes, physical appearance really matters. Yeah, they want to change because of the judgment of others. So those are actually, the modern technology can improve our lives. Someone bullied on their physical looks. Exactly. That's why if you don't want, of course, to bully, you need to, you have to, sometimes you need to undergo, just like Marlu. Are you familiar with Marlu? Sander Ford, di ba? Saan
Yes,
katutak
sir.
na bully sa kanya just because of his, you know, of his nose, because of his physical appearance. So that's why he decided to make a move. And what move is that? Of course, is to change his face, not totally the face one or the head. Of course, to enhance or to improve his face. So that is, of course, the reason why we don't have to blame that. It's their personal choice. Well, anyway, why I so any additional information that wants to add? No more. I'm in chat. Okay. What Ken, you want to add something before we end that video? None. Okay, so of course, the conclusion on that specific video, we need actually to do, to embrace the technology today. Sometimes other people cannot accept the modern technology just because they are not techy or what. So it's their personal opinion. What we have to do is we have to use it wisely, correctly, and of course, we need knowledge in order for you to be in the society, just because in the 21st century, that is, you know, it is really important to have a knowledge in modern technology, because in work you can use it. In education, we have to use it in all sect of the society or of the government. Well, anyway, let us move on, of course, to the topic that I want. Yes. Bakit ako nag-raise ng hand? Okay. Let us move on, of course, to our topic. That is, of course, the wiki. It is, of course, about locating specific sources. So what is your idea about the wiki? Based, of course, on the title, locating specific sources. None? No idea? Okay, locating, which means, of course, yes. Who raised hand? Yes, Janice.
We're gonna locate or find the meaning of a word or like
Okay.
anything.
Okay, thank you for your idea. That's correct. We have, of course, actually to locate a specific source. When you say source, it is actually the provider of that information. Sources, when you are looking, of course, or locating a specific source. So what is your source? What is actually, we are looking actually to a reliable source. So as a student, where you find a source or an information, looking for an information. Yes, Rochelle, library, correct. Finding where they start. Okay. Google or a book. Okay, correct. What else? Google. Actually, we are very dependent on the use of Google. Kahit naman ako. Encyclopedia, search engines, correct. What else? Search engines, general term. Google is a specific term. Okay, thank you. So on the week to actually our objective is to use an electronic search engine to locate a specific source. Here it is of course all about electronic search engine. So which means that we need to use of course the technology. That's why the video that I presented is all about technology. Okay. So in order for you to be updated, okay, so our learning objectives here is to understand electronic search engines, identify different types of search engines, and lastly, understand how search engines and locating specific sources work. Okay, here is of course the question. Since we are actually suffering in COVID-19 as of this moment, if you need a specific set of information about COVID-19, what specific sources will you use? Yes, Janice.
Google or PhilHealth.
Okay, Google or of course the websites of the PhilHealth, correct. PhilHealth or the DOH, maybe internet or television, correct. What else? Emeril.
Pwede po sa radio po.
Radio, correct. What else? Okay, a lot of course of informations that or sources that provide information about COVID-19, maybe on the news or on the television, on YouTube, sa dyaryo, or it is a newspaper or WHO or the websites of the World Health Organization. Okay, Moses, okay, the WHO, correct. So here, there are sources, maybe it is in the newspaper, from the first picture, and the encyclopedia, and also, of course, from the internet, provide or connection. Okay. I want you to answer first our learner task by answering, of course, check or if it is, of course, in the not in the notebook orally, and then X if it is you are not if it is considered false. So that is first one. Who wants to answer? Read and answer. Raise your hand. Maybe I have to call. Albessa, Artea, Albessa. Excuse me. Number one, read and answer. Albeza, hello.
Number 1. An online search engine is similar to a web page.
Exactly, engine.
Check po.
An online search engine is similar to a web page. Check. Okay. Who else wants to read the number two? Timothy.
We need online search engines to lead us to search in the internet.
Okay, we need online search engines to lead us source in the internet. So what is your answer?
Check.
Okay, check. Later we're going actually to to give a specific answer. I just want to know your prior knowledge about these set of of questions. Yes, Elijah. Number three.
A search engine may still work even without the internet. X.
Okay, a search engine is not, of course. Number four. Four. Palias.
A website is another term for search engine. Uh, check.
Okay, check. Later we're going actually to realize if you got the correct answer or not. What about five? Um, five. Marlo Daquelania Jr. Marley. Marley, hello. Pwede ba? I want you to be alert. Yes, Reggie. Read the number five and then your answer, if it is X or check. Reggie. Baga, ang dali. Ray. Yes, Emeril.
Search engine make our access to the information we need possible. Check po.
Okay, check. Search engine make our access to the information we need possible. Later we go. You have to realize if you got the correct answer or not. Okay, let us move on. Of course, first to the online search engines. So while the library is actually the primary go-to place for students when they are in need of information or data, because in the previous years actually, if you are not, if you don't have the access in the internet, so you have of course to use the so-called the library. During my elementary days, my high school days, we actually spent time going to library in order for you to search on informations. But here, a lot of course of information that you can get through the use of the online sources. So technology has deeply changed the way we perceive library work and research, from using electronic sources like online public access catalog or OPEC to accessing a wide array of online libraries from all over the world through the mechanism of online search engines. So here is actually according to the World Wide Web or internet contains truckloads of informations. When you say truckloads of information, it's just like actually a truck. It is just like, of course, a huge or gigantic informations that we can use or that we provide. This is why searching for specific information is in this huge repertoire of knowledge can both be tiring and intimidating, just because If you're going to search a word, a lot of course of informations that we can get, and we don't know if it is, that information is correct or not. So the primary key to navigating the internet successfully and with ease is actually knowing where to start. So it is actually really good if you know how to start in researching an information. This is where the roles of the search engine come into play. So what is online search engine? So actually we already tackled and discussed everything, or you heard already what is search engine. So let us have, of course, a formal definition. What is online search engine? Please, I want you to read, Moses. What is online search engine? Moses. Okay, Nicole Magnalak. Magmanlak. Nicole, read everything what's posted on my monitor. Hello? Pwede ba tumutok kayo? Hindi yung pag tinatawag ko kayo, ang tagal-tagal sumagot. Riza. Riza? Yes, Mr. Tupaz?
Online search engine is a program that searches for words or phrases in documents, most often in articles, web pages, and published materials in the internet. It is similar to a library in an offline setting, as it gives you access to millions of domain names that store vast amounts of information.
Okay, that is what you call the online search engines. How it looks like. It is a program that searches for words or phrases in documents, most often in articles, web pages, and published materials in the internet. How it looks like. For example, can you see everything on my monitor? I'll be giving an example. So here is I am with the Google. On the Google, that is actually my internet. What I mean is I am going to search here. Okay. I'm going to search, of course, the longest word, English word, for example. So as you can see, there are the Wikipedia, there is a Grammarly blog, Irish Reading, there is actually a digital spy.com, Reader's Digest, British Council. These are actually the search engines. Those are actually the provider. So because of course, when you say online search engine is a program that searches for words. So that is actually how it look like. It looks like words or phrases and documents. So web pages, published internet materials, those are actually an online search engine. Any question? May tanong po ba? Yes or no lang, sasagot.
None po.
None po.
None po.
What are the three common types of search engines? So the first one is general search engines. Second one is the meta search engine. Third one is the specific search engine. So let us talk, of course, one by one. So general search engine, those are actually includes, for example, the Google, Yahoo, Ask, Amazon, refer to a wide-ranging search engines capable of searching millions of sites for specific information. So if you're going to use, as I said that earlier, I used a Google. Sometimes we prefer to use Yahoo. So sometimes we prefer to use ask.com. So if you're going to use it, that is what you call the general search engine. For example, as what I've said earlier, okay, I prefer to use, of course, a Google. Dito ako nag-ano, di ba? That is a general one. General. Okay. Another one, of course, is what you call the meta search engine. Meta search engine works by actually using other search engines to find the needed information. It works the same way when you use a website to help find the best deals on a particular product, or say flight booking for your trip. Popular examples of this is the Blingo, Dogpile, or Metacrawler. So for example, for flight booking, so I'm going to use, of course, or to, this is a specific actually, ha? Pag sinabing meta search, you need to use, of course, a website. For example, sa Google ako dadaan at magsi-search ako dito, search engine ko is here. Mag-ano ako ng, what do you call this? The PhilippineAirline.com. Okay, Philippine Airlines booking, this one. Okay, for Philippine Airline ako titingin, that is a specific one. Di ba maraming airline booking? So we have actually, the other one is Cebu Pacific. So ako gusto ko sa Philippine Airline at gusto kong pumunta ng ibang bansa or another city, di ba? Dito ka lang, magpapabook ka, anong petsa, yan, search flights. So this is actually another, an information where you can find how much it costs. And then, kung gusto mong pumunta sa mga hotel, pupunta ka, i-search mo lang yung hotel na gusto mo. For example, the Solaire. Solaire actually is an online casino or whatever. Anong gusto mong tingnan doon. So makikita mo doon kung ano ba ang binibigay nilang services. For inland, Cebu Pacific. Okay, Cebu Pacific Airlines. Here, domestic ba? Okay, domestic tayo. Only here in the Philippines, for example. Domestic is for online local flight. And then for international, of course, international. Yan. Airline booking kung gusto mo. So those are information that we can get. Okay, book the flight, for example. So you can easily book or find information how much it costs to travel in Seoul, in America, or locally. So that is actually what you call the next meta search engine. So do you have any question? Sir, masasabi po ba natin ang Lazada and then ang what do you call this? Ang Shopee is a meta search engine? Yes. Because you can see actually a popular products there, a specific product. So where they can offer, in a low price or a costly or a pricey one. So that is actually a meta search engine, an example. Okay. Those are actually an example of Crawler, Dogpile. Tumingin ka dyan at makakita ka ng kung ano-ano ng mga products. Okay, specific search engine. Would you like to read, please? Who raised hand? Yes, John Dula.
Specific search engine is a much smaller and more specific type and is designed more specifically for certain users' needs. A good example for this type is a periodical database on culture, history, politics, and government, which are usually accessed for research purposes. While specific search engines can usually be accessed for free, as in the case of academic databases in libraries. Most would require user enrollment or subscription to allow unlimited access. Some examples under this type are Academic Search, JSTOR, and LexisNexis.
Okay, those are actually specific search engines. These are actually an American, American specific search engines. Here in the Philippines, we have the DepEd. DepEd Common. Are you familiar with that? So
Yes, sir.
research purposes. So for example, the Brainly, yan, that is for research purposes. Another one, if you are familiar with the NBI, um, the NBI here in the Philippines. So the also of course the DOH. If you want to know the data from time to time about of course the COVID infected victims, so you can search it. So you can usually access for research purposes. That is what you call the um, specific search engine. So we have only three. So the first one is we have the general search engines. We have, of course, the meta search engines. And we have, of course, the specific search engines. Those are actually our lesson for today. So here it's actually, if you're going to narrow down, is actually the fruit of of the technology today. So we can actually access some informations by using the three engines, specific, and we have actually the meta search and the general search. So do you think it is helpful? Do you think those are helpful in our daily lives?
Yes po.
How do you say
Yes.
so? How do you say so? Especially if you are a student and even a teacher, actually.
Sir, it helped us learn more. Learn
Helps
about
us
what we search.
to learn more. Exactly. So what about YouTube? What kind of search engine is that? YouTube. Yes, Janice.
Meta search engine?
Meta search. Okay. Because if you're going to search, of course, a YouTube, and then, okay, hold on. Magiging meta search siya. For example, YouTube. Can you see, of course, my presentation, right? Okay. Makikita niyo siya dyan. 'Di ba? That is meta search, correct. Magiging meta search siya kung ganyan. Pero if you are looking actually for something like Gigi Vibes, for example, Gigi Vibes, you are looking for the work or songs of Gigi Vibes. Are you familiar with Gigi Delana?
Yes po, sir.
Yes po, sir.
Okay. And then clinic mo yung specific work niya, magiging specific na siya. 'Di ba? Magiging specific na siya. Yun ang sinasabi natin. Pero kung ano lang, kung YouTube lang talaga mismo ang sinesearch mo or clinic mo, that is a meta search. 'Di ba? Pero kapag ako nagpunta dito sa Google search at nilagay ko YouTube, that is general. Clear? Tapos kapag clinic natin ang YouTube, ayun na ang meta. Kapag nag-click tayo ng isa dito at nag-search tayo, that is what you call specific. Naintindihan ako?
Yes.
Yes po.
Yes po, sir.
Okay. So depende sa ginagawa mo as a navigator. Navigator tayo eh. Tayo ang mag-access tayo ang gumagawa ng command dito sa computer or in a cell phone. So that is what you call we are navigator, and it is depend on you what we have to do in this specific one. Hindi mo kilala to si Gigi Delana? Ano? Oh, ang ganda-ganda ng kanta niya. pa, LSS. So anyway, those are actually the things that we have to talk. Those are the 3 specific search engines. So any questions or additional information that you have to add? That you want to add? General, meta search, and specific. Do you have any question? Hello?
None po, sir.
Okay,
None,
now
sir.
let us proceed, of course, to the learning task. It is actually a task that you have to to do. Learning task 2. Using, of course, your background knowledge about online search engines, I have to give a specific things here. And then you have to identify if it is general, meta search, and specific. Okay, I want you to go on. Okay, number 1, 2 up to 10. I want you to bring out your pen and paper. And then I want you to have this one to answer. And then we're going, of course, to check it after. I'll be giving you 5 minutes. You may use, of course, general search engine in order for you to classify if it is meta, general, and specific. If you're done, I want you to type done. This is non-recorded. Huwag niyo i-pressure ang sarili niyo. But I want you to be honest. Okay, may mga lagdan na. I wish, ano ba sinabi ko? This is not recorded. Kaya nga huwag niyo i-pressure ang sarili niyo, but I want you to be honest. Yung iba ayaw talaga mag-open ng camera. Gusto niyo bang patalsikin ko kayo dito? Anong problema sa pag-turn on ng camera? Ako nga dala-dalawa ang camera ko. cell phone and PC? Mr. Dula, do you have a relative from Muntinlupa or Paranaque?
Wala po.
Hmm. Because I taught in a private school in Parañaque City, St. Teresa de Ava School, and I have my student Camille Dula, who is very bright from Department of Science and Technology.
Teacher lang po sa trade.
Again?
Teacher po sa trade. May kamag-anak po ako.
Sino?
Si Ma'am Vienna po, tsaka si Sir Romel.
Ah, si Ma'am Vienna.
Opo. Tita ko po.
Are you with her?
Hindi po.
Hmm. Ma'am Vienna Azarcon. Okay, let us move on to the checking of your work. Number one, please, I want you to check your own, please. Here, the learning task 2. And then I want you to type the score that you got. From the text box. And then if you have any clarification about the or the answer, you may please turn on your microphone so that we can discuss. Five out of 10 ka, Emeril? Or what do you think? What do you mean?
In learning task 1, 5 po. Tapos in learning task 2, 10 po.
Okay. But I want you to focus on the learning task too. Okay. Good result, Shane. Okay. 5 and 8. Okay, 9. 5 over 5. 8. 5 and 8. 4 and 8. Okay. 5 and 8. Five and 7. Rochelle Ann, okay. 5. 5 and 7. 4 and 9. Okay, you got actually the good score. So which means that you understand actually everything. Okay, let us proceed, of course, to the activity for this week, the week 2. Okay, thank you. So I wanted to listen now. And focus on the presentation. Okay, here is the learning task 3. I want you to have, of course, this graphic organizer in a bond paper, in a one whole sheet of bond paper, or it's up to you what you're gonna use in order for you to have a graphic organizer. This is what you call graphic organizer. It is actually 3 columns. The type, which is of course the you have the general, the meta search, and the specific, and then the description, and then the examples. I want you to search, of course, from the internet. For example, you have to in the meta search. So you have to the YouTube, for example. So you have to give the description of the YouTube. What is YouTube all about? That is description, and then examples of the meta search engines. Another example. Here is, of course, in the graphic organizer, not in your notebook. I want it in a bond paper, in a yellow pad, and this is what you call the graphic or the making of graphic organizer that shows what a search engine is, what are its common types, and how does one work in terms of locating specific sources. As what I've said, for example, the YouTube, and then all you have to do is you have to search what is YouTube all about, and then give a specific example. Okay, here the learning task that you have to get. For example, the search online engines, general search engines refer to, here is the description, and then the meta search, here is the description. It's up to you on how you can give your, you may search actually the what is meta search engine, specific search engine, and then you have to give an examples. For example, here, I don't want to use this as an example. Make your own move in order for you to know, or to, what to give an example. The examples of general search, meta search, and specific search. This is my graphic organizer. Ginanyan ko lang. Pero kayo, you have to column it. The types, which are general, meta, specific, description. Here is this the description, description, description. And then examples, Ask.com, Yahoo, Google, Jabligo, Dogpile, Metacrawler. And I want you to be creative in presenting your graphic organizer. This one is my graphic organizer. Ayo, how do you present? I wanted to search it like this. And then I wanted to put some designs, colorful, and good presentations of the learning task 3. And you have to submit that on your Google Classroom. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you may screenshot this one, this part, as an example. And that is over 15, 5 points each from each type. Ba't nawala yung picture ko? Okay na ba? Na SS na ba yon?
Yes, sir.
Yes po.
Yes po, sir.
Yeah, sir.
Okay, thank you. 27 lang kayo? Ang dami-dami nyo. Ay, 25?